Yes. I am Big Steve, aka Last of a Dying Breed, on the Twitter machine here with the Castworthy Podcast, episode 10. I am here riding solo Dolo this fine eve, as my co-hosts were unavailable to record. Before we get started, just so that we can get this out of the way, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter at Castworthy. Also find us on YouTube now. Find us on Spreaker, www.spreaker.com, SPREAKER.com. Find us on Spotify and also find us on the Apple Podcast app. We'd like for you guys to interact, like us, dislike us, share some of your feedback, etc. And we'll interact going back. So, to get started this fine evening, a few things that I wanted to talk about, and just shed some light on. I know we're a little bit late on the topic, so didn't want to spend much time on it, but did want to talk about the Ayesha Curry thing. Heard lots of opinions back and forth because it is such an age topic. But some of the stuff that I've heard, I want to make sure that my opinion is out there as well, and some of the stuff that my cronies have stated on our side. So, for those who don't know, Ayesha Curry was on Jada Pinkett's Red Table doing an interview, and she indicated that she was slightly jealous of the fact that women are constantly going at Steph Curry, and she's not getting any attention from gentlemen in her DMs. And to that, we say, you're fucking crazy, Ayesha Curry. Number one, Steph Curry is one of the biggest stars in the NBA, one of the biggest stars in America. Globally, people know him and respect him for his greatness. So just like, LeBron James's wife, I'm sure people aren't jumping in her DMs trying to get at her. And, not being in the spotlight as the spouse, you can't expect everyone to know who you are. Generally, you have the cooking show. You guys are constantly doing interviews for magazines, outlining how happy you are, and showing what the American dream is from a relationship status, with the 3 kids, the happy home, successful businesses, etc. And because of that, that's going to deter people. People are going to see that. People are going to think, well, it's a happy home. Most people, men in general, aren't going to prey on the happy home, right? They're looking for the woman who is constantly showing clearly that they're not being appreciated, because that's an easy prey. It's, just like anything else. It's like animals. Men are hunters when it comes to that. A vulnerable woman is much more susceptible to accepting the game and falling for it than one that is in a happy relationship with, of course, somebody who's bringing home lots and lots of money. So just my take on it. The way I look at it, if you wanted the attention, now I'm sure you're getting plenty of it. Floodgates probably opened up, and, dudes are just probably in there, taking a shot, because at the end of the day, now people are thinking, well, she's unhappy. If this is the first steps of her being unhappy, there could be an alimony check coming out of that. And, what better way to get a come up, in America, rather than suing someone, which is the big thing, than finding somebody that's going to have some money or has some money. So if you're not getting that attention yet, I'm sure it will come. On that same token, Golden State Warriors without Kevin Durant went ahead and moved forward and eliminated the Houston Rockets, showing us again that James Harden is not playoff ready. He's not champion ready. He's a regular season guy. I know there's a lot of people that thought that he was going to take that next step forward, but with the team that he had, everybody was healthy this year. He showed again that he doesn't seem to be ready to take it to that next level, while Golden State, even without Kevin Durant, was able to execute and get it done. So big ups to Golden State Warriors. Klay Thompson came up big, and playoff Draymond was out there. The other Western Conference matchup, we had the Portland Trail Blazers on the road take over or win the series against the Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets went down at home to not a Damian Lillard, who took over the series before, but to CJ McCollum in that Game 7 who killed things. So, Portland is looking like they could be a problem even without their number one center in Nurkic. So we'll see. They're going to play Golden State. It's hard to pick against Golden State. Even though Portland looks good and they're looking polished, they have some stars over there now with CJ McCollum and now helping out Dame. But going to have to say, if I'm making a choice, I think Golden State goes to the finals. I think they beat Portland in 5. Portland might sneak one out at home. Eastern Conference. One of the reasons I think one of my co-hosts couldn't be here, Senor E, who is from Philadelphia, a huge Philly sports fan. His 76ers took the big loss to Toronto with Kawhi Leonard hitting a huge game-winning shot. Real interesting there. Kawhi took 35 shots. I think he took more shots than he had points. So that was interesting. But to see, you don't usually see that one-man gang winning or getting this far in the playoffs year after year. So, his first year in Toronto, he's taken those guys to that next level. Toronto's always been a team that got kicked out in the first or second round, partially because LeBron James was there. So LeBronless playoffs is struck in again. We've talked about this in the past. And Toronto is on to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they will see the Milwaukee Bucks, who beat the Boston Celtics with the Greek Freak. Put on a great show. A stacked team, real quiet stacked team with Middleton and Eric Bledsoe and those guys. I think the Bucks are going to be tough for Toronto, considering Kyle Lowry doesn't like to play basketball in the playoffs. Hopefully Kawhi can lock down the Greek Freak and not put him on the line 20 times a game and make it a series. But I think the Bucks go to the finals and we see a Greek Freak versus KD finals. MVP candidates on both sides of the ball. Once again, Golden State's going to, in my eyes, going to take it down. I don't think there's anybody left that can take the chip from them. So that was just a quick synopsis. At the end of each round for the playoffs, we like to discuss what we think is going to happen in the next round and where things are. So real quick to get that out there. And moving on the sports front. I want to talk about Game of Thrones. Watching the internet and watching the reactions to Game of Thrones episode 5 season 8, I'm appreciative of entertainment. I'm extremely appreciative of CGI, and it seems like that's where HBO has moved with the Game of Thrones franchise in this final season. the dragon scene when they killed Varys. The CGI to get that in there was beautiful. And then throughout the episode, as we saw the dragon, the CGI was pretty amazing. They did a great job with that part of it. However, from a story front, lots of holes in what we saw. Some plot holes, some silly stuff that just didn't make much sense. 10, 11 plus years of waiting to see what would happen to Cersei. And the way she died, is not what people were expecting. But yeah, just to get it started off, starting from the beginning, wondering where Varys's letters end up. That's going to be, I think it's going to play a part somehow, some way. We got to see Daenerys turn into the Mad Queen. And I think the actual full turning point, people are saying when Missandei got killed, but I don't even think that was it. I think it was actually when she approached Jon and once again attempted to kiss him, even though it's her nephew, and he's told her, "Hey, we're related." And he seemed like he was with it, and then he pulled away, and she goes, "Is that all I am to you as a queen?" When he tells her, "You'll always be my queen." And so, the thing with that is, at that point, he should have addressed the situation. Listen, you're my. We can't get it. We can't get it popping like this. This is not what we're here for. Let's go try and win this war and keep it moving. Instead, she went on with her. I guess I'll rule through fear, and kind of put it out there, and that should have been enough for Jon Snow or Aegon to know that she was gonna go mad. I like to call her Daenerys Left Eye Lopez, House Targaryen, because that was just a testament of what the impact of some good deed does to women, because it's clear that was the equivalent of keying someone's car, popping their tires, breaking their windows, standing outside their house screaming. It's pretty much what she did. She lost it. She couldn't contain herself after Johnny Boy didn't want to give her anything additional. So I think that's what drove her to be mad. They led us throughout the season, kind of showing us that she was going to be mad. She was going crazy, and lots of events from Jorah to Missandei to the dragons dying. But I think the straw that broke the camel's back was not being able to get the one that she loved to love her back again. So yeah, she went crazy, burnt some shit down, and in watching that, I don't know what the fuck dragon fire is made of, but it is apparently made of something extremely strong, because as soon as it hit the structure of those buildings, them shits fell. And everything I've been taught in my days, that's not how fire works. Usually, fire hits, it burns, and after a long time, some shit might fall when you got structure like that. So, a little interesting there how they did that. The CGI was good, but I think that didn't make much sense. Some plot holes. We also saw a battle that I don't remember anybody asking for. I'm pretty sure there's not one Game of Thrones fan out there that was like, I can't wait to see Euron Greyjoy and Jaime Lannister get it popping. Not sure where that came from. Not sure where the writers decided that was going to be a good battle, or people would appreciate that. It was trash. And Jaime got stabbed pretty bad twice, and still found a way to make it to Cersei so they could die together in each other's arms. HBO's killing us. They're batting over 2 so far with those situations. Um, the Hound, fighting the Mountain, his brother, that was built up, and I think they did that horribly as well. Just my take. I think we could have done without that. That was a time filler. And then they end up both dying. That was, I think that was whack. I think we could have done without that. For 3. Arya, running through the town as things were collapsing. They did a bad job showing us, or trying to get us suspense in a suspenseful mode where we were wondering, oh, did she make it? Oh, Arya's dead. I think after the 3rd or 4th time she escaped death, we had it down there. And then the magical horse popped up, in which she took and disappeared with, ran off. So my thought is, obviously Arya's going to play another part. She's already slayed the Night King, and I think a lot of people think she's going to end up killing Daenerys. The question is how and when. I feel like there's going to be a fight. I think we're going to see Jon and Grey Worm fight on this last episode, which I think they should have fought immediately when Grey Worm decided he was going to spear the dude after they dropped their swords. If Jon was all about peace and all about, keeping people alive, he would have, got at Grey Worm right there. So I think we see that in this last episode. And I think that, personally, that's going to lead to Daenerys making a choice, to get at Jon, and either, she's going to be successful in killing him, or in the process of doing so, Arya will appear and save the day once again. So should be interesting to see how that's going to play out. Like to know how others think. I had some water cooler talk today at work with some people, and heard some other theories which I brushed under the rug. Didn't think made much sense to me. But we'll see. We'll see. Everybody has a theory, and everyone's entitled. Tyrion did some bullshit when it snitched on Varys, and then in the very next scene, or 2 scenes later, he's committing treason just the same, letting Jaime out. So I think Tyrion realized at some point, I think he had some humility finally, and he realized at the end of the day, Cersei is still my sister. Like, blood is blood. Blood is thicker than water. And Jaime's my brother. So as much as I'm here to serve Daenerys, that's still my sister. Like, and she's pregnant. So probably be best for me to try and save her. And he tried and he did everything he could to save her. And I'm pretty sure he knows that things are not going to be so great now as a fallout to his actions. Daenerys' crazy ass is probably going to probably kill him. HBO kind of gave us that when she, told us, hey, the next time you fail me as a hand will be the last time. So that'll be really cliche. We'll already have seen that coming if that happens. But Tyrion, the shot of him though when things were going crazy, and she, right after she went mad, when he's walking over the battlefield of dead people, was a great shot. They did a good job with that, I think. The visual on that was great, and his facial expressions and the way he kind of sold it as reality was great. And him being stunned and not believing, in disbelief of what was going on, I think he really did believe that if the bells were rung, that Psycho would let things go and not kill innocent women and children. Which, by the way, brings me to a conversation I had today. Someone at my job, a huge feminist, toxic femininity, came out telling me, well, if Daenerys was a man, everybody would be forward and cheering for her. Wrong. That's bullshit. Ain't nobody thinking about that. Here's the thing. The biggest thing for me is like with Cersei. Cersei was what she was. We knew what she was from day one when she was getting it popping with Jaime, and she was with it when he pushed Bran out the window. We knew what Cersei was. She never disguised it. She was a scumbag. Even at times when she was, vulnerable, when they shamed her and walked her up the street, she came back in there, and when she was thrown in the dungeon and all of that shit, we still saw that Cersei was a scumbag, and we knew what she was about. So I respected Cersei. She was playing the game the way the game was supposed to be played. Game of Thrones. Like, I'm trying to get through this, whatever it takes. Whether that means I got to kill innocent, whether that means I need to, use family as bait, whether I need to, get rid of whatever, right? That's what she was trying to do. She's trying to be the queen of the kingdom. So Cersei was moving the way we expected Cersei to move. The biggest thing with Dany is, she came on, and ever since we met her, and we were introduced to her, she was all about freeing slaves, keeping people alive, making sure people are not going through, getting massacred, killed, and going through the trials and tribulations of poor leaders. And it all went away. So, she was driven crazy, but she was like, a wolf in sheep's clothing. We expected, and we've been taught that she's a great person. And I think that's what really killed people, is not so much that it happened. It's that it wasn't expected to go down that way. Like, all the way up until people were probably really thinking she's gonna ride with Jon. Like, she went to the north, she fought this battle, which had to be done. So for the people that say, well, she gave so much for him and went up there, well, if she didn't, there wouldn't have been no kingdom for her to rule, because the Night King and his cronies would have been running shit right now. So she didn't really have much of a choice in that argument. So yeah, but she was a wolf in sheep's clothing, which is what I was getting at. And I think that's why people don't like it. It's not so much that she did it. It's definitely not that she's a woman. I think people are just reaching for straws on that one. But we expected better from her. We've seen better from her. Continuously heard her preach the word. And, when it was time for action, she changed up. So that was rough. Yeah, Sansa tried to tell us. People hating on Sansa. But end of the day, she knew what was coming. She knew what it was. And she saw through Daenerys' bullshit. So Sansa was there. I'm wondering how they're gonna patch up this last episode though. Supposed to be another long one, I think an hour and 20 minutes, like these last few. And there's still a lot that we are yet to have seen or known. And so you figure, some of the stuff that needs to be patched up, we still need to know what's going on in Winterfell. We need to know what's going to happen, what's going on with Sansa. Still, we're going into the last episode of the series, and we have no clue what the use of Bran was for this whole time, besides the fact that he could see the past. But did nothing with it to save us, or help us, or them rather, not us. Yeah, so we're wondering, we still haven't seen what's going to happen in Winterfell. We still need to find out what's going to happen with Daenerys and Jon, um, Arya. The biggest thing there to me is with where all these other episodes have started where they're in some type of group setting, having a conversation about what the next steps are, yada yada yada. I don't think that happens this time. There's no way that can happen this time. The bitch went crazy, and for them to try and have a civilized conversation with her to hash it out, I don't think that is going to work out. So yeah, I think unless, well, the Red Keep's gone, so there's no way for her to sit on the throne and hold court for them. So I'm wondering if that's how it plays out. She's making her claim to the throne based on burning shit apart, and she's listening to people and hearing how they should go. Jon comes up, listen, you a crazy motherfucker, or maybe he leaks it even further somewhere. I don't know what's left. I don't know what's left to leak, or who's left for him to leak to, that he is Aegon Targaryen and he's the rightful heir to the throne. So interested to see how this last episode is going to play out. There's they got a lot to fit into a small time, and if they're still battling and there's people that are still going to die, and clearly we're not going to have time to see the aftermath of King's Landing, to see who made it, who didn't, and shit like that. So this is gonna be an interesting episode, to say the least, to see how they're gonna end this series and this season. But yeah, I think they did do a very good job with the CGI, the dragon flying back and forth, just the visuals of the buildings falling and stuff like that. I think they did a really good job with the visuals of it. The logic of it, not so much, not very logical. Cersei and Jaime dying, could have done that better. Shit. That was just, you got people. It's like if Joffrey would have fucking killed himself or offed himself, people would not have been happy about that shit. I don't know what the writers did over at HBO. It seems like they tried to maybe go on social media and all over the internet and find people's theories and say, whatever we do, let's make sure that nobody's theory comes true. Because surely, again, nobody asked for a Jaime and Euron fight. Trash. So yeah, that's that's our Game of Thrones hot take for the Castworthy podcast. I want to see where this plays out after next week's Game of Thrones episode. Give us a listen, because you'll hear, I'm sure, some more opinionated opinions from our guys here at the Castworthy podcast. Betting on them being more available next week, and it not just being you having to listen to me and my theories here. So, what else? Ayesha Curry, some NBA stuff, some Game of Thrones stuff. Jeez. News. What else is taking place? Nothing I can think of. So, with that, gonna keep it short and sweet. This episode, Just a quick half hour, quick listen. Hope it was something, maybe, you listen to on your commute. But I do want to stress again that we're available for listening on YouTube now. Just search Castworthy. We're still available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, www.spreaker.com. That's speaker with an R, Spreaker. Follow us on Instagram at Castworthy_podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Castworthy. Like us, comment, DM us, get in our DMs like Ayesha. Tell us what you want to hear. Give us feedback. We love it. We take it. And we hope you like listening. Thank you very much for listening, and stay tuned. Peace.